Don't be fooled by the latest pledge to investigate local Catholic priests. That's the bottom line from two accusers who have heard the new plan and don't buy it one bit.
Investigative reporter Angie Racono shares their stories about what's really happening behind the scenes.
$24 million. That's a lot of money the Catholic Church in our area has paid out in legal fees and compensation to victims. That may sound like penance, but don't tell that to the two men you're about to hear from.
People don't want to hear it. It's too horrible of a story. Nobody wants to hear it.
Tom Viviano and Mike Foreman say trusted priests sexually abused them as children.
No one's going to be held accountable, responsible. They just get away scot-free.
Everybody deep down wishes they can sweep it under the rug, but we can't.
Tom went to Catholic school at St. Aloysius in St. Louis. That church was torn down in 2005. But Tom says he still carries the scars of what at least 3 priests did to him from the 3rd to 8th grade.
It's going through my mind right now what took place, and I hate living through it.
He suspects church lawyers know that. Here's what happened when he stepped forward.
What is going on here? You're not interested in the truth. You're interested in me crumbling.
Tom says church lawyers grilled him for hours about explicit details regarding his sexual abuse. The questions were so disturbing and graphic, we can't repeat them here.
The depositions were there to break me, to get me to stop. I mean, just stop.
In his horrible deposition, these ridiculous questions, the Catholic Church is paying these lawyers to ask these questions while they're talking to the public about healing, mercy, and empathy.
Mike Foreman sued the Catholic Church too. His lawsuit was against the Kansas City, Kansas Archdiocese. He went to Catholic school at Queen of the Holy Rosary, but was counseled by Father Finian Meese from nearby Good Shepherd Church. He is one of multiple accusers who say that trusted priest sexually abused them as children.
They knew I was telling the truth.
But when Mike sued for compensation, the church fought his case and won on a legal technicality.
For me, it's just brutal. But I didn't even get to the part of depositions because my case was dismissed because of the statute of limitations.
Here's what makes Mike angry. While the Catholic Church was winning court battles, they were also holding very public healing ceremonies, encouraging compassion and empathy for victims.
I know for sure, I'll speak for Tom too, we're both ironclad proof. Those are all flat out lies. And those lies are all directed to all Catholics and the general public. That's just all public relations. That's all that is.
So here is Mike's response. A website, IamNotCatholic.com. It's his full story. He's even made this sign to hold outside his former parish. The back reads, "It is an absolute poverty. The statute of limitations is the crown jewel of the Catholic Church. What does God think of that?"
The church is very powerful, getting things shut down.
How do you ever prevent this from happening again if you don't know what happened before?
Attorney Rebecca Randalls represents both men. Randalls and her clients say the investigations by the church have been a sham.
We haven't seen a real search for the truth. We find a search for a defense.
They want grand juries with subpoena power to fully investigate all Catholic churches across both states. And they want outreach to current victims who know what really happened.
When you speak to the other victims, that gives you new places to go look for documents, for support, for corroborating evidence, and just opening the personnel files doesn't do any of that.
All of this talk about transparency, accountability, and prayers, all that nonsense, that's all a bunch of nothing.
I want to see accountability, and we haven't seen it. What we've seen is cover up, and that's a shame.
The St. Louis Archdiocese says it can't comment on Viviano's claims because of pending litigation, but say their willingness to cooperate with the Missouri Attorney General and open their files is proof they no longer cover things up. The Kansas City, Kansas Archdiocese told us they fully investigate all claims, but indicated old cases are very difficult, and Mike Foreman's claims could not be substantiated. Angie Racono, KCTV5 News.